Now it's on. Got to push the button. Got to push the button. Remember to push the button. Actually, this sounds pretty good. Okay, all right. Progress, incremental progress. Well, welcome. Glad you are all here. A little light crowd. I don't know. People must have been staying up late last night watching something on the news. But hopefully you're watching it somewhere else or you'll watch it on delay. We're glad to have everyone here. As usual, we've got a full agenda of lots of good things to cover. And I'll just cover a couple of things. That's the basic agenda. Take a quick look, memorize it all, and then we'll just keep going step by step. Oops. So a couple of things. We did start the relocation meetings with the West Wing residents. So we sat in the Sky Lounge a week and a half or so ago, and we did the basic walkthrough of the big picture points of what relocation looks like and how we'll proceed. And then we gave each resident their own individual packet that was specific to their situation. And then they could read through the details and get a sense of what was going on, because it's a ton of information, right? The other thing we tried to emphasize in that meeting is that it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're talking about 3 years worth of, getting adjusted to the move. So it's not something that happens overnight by any means. And I will send out something shortly that just kind of informs the community at large what the process is, so that people just know what's going on. But the specific stuff will be the specifics will be to each individual. So we're not going to go through and have everybody be involved in that, but the community at large should know basically what we're kind of planning on. On the 27th, on last Monday, we had a meeting with with Methuen here to walk people through the current design and what we're trying to accomplish in that design. And as Ken Boyd said in that process, we're still, fine tuning this thing. It's not, cast in concrete yet. While we're not looking to residents to say, well, everybody gets a vote on the item that they would like in that design, we do take into consideration points of view. In fact, I would say that design reflects a lot of what residents have expressed interest in, whether it's how we use the space or it is particular ways in which the space lays out. A notable example is so much more green space, tons of green space. And, we're in an urban environment and it's hard to get green space. And for those of you who've lived, like, let's say New York City, you know how important it is to have Central Park. We lived across the street from that and we really needed that as our oasis. So we're going to do a little bit more to help our oasis coordinate with the Freeway Park oasis and kind of lock down our little paradise here. And then we're a little more impervious to the rest of the city, and we can engage with the city on whatever base we want, but we got our own green space. So hopefully people saw that and identified with that. We will continue to have update meetings about what that looks like so that you can kind of follow along. And again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. We don't start building until late 25. So it's a long haul. Anyway, I hope that those of you that you attended, appreciated it and enjoyed it. And, if you have comments, put them in the comment box, talk to Eli, talk to me. We'll take them into consideration and continue to evolve this process. Let's see. So we're in the process now of having those one-on-one nearly 3 years in which to do it, which means the turnover of apartments will allow us to have enough apartments for people, and that we are hopeful that residents will be, reasonably expeditious in the process. If somebody says, well, I waited to the second year, the 264th day, and I'm really upset I don't have a place, and now you're telling me I have to move off site. Well, that doesn't help, right? You have to take a look at the apartment that you want. You might pass on a couple, but at the end of the day, you need to move forward. And otherwise, we can't get everybody here. So we'll be continuing those one-on-one resident meetings. And again, it's a long process, but that's what it is. So once we get through that and we've got our grip on what's taking place with the West Wing residents and how that's moving forward, we owe a time to get in front of the west-facing Central Tower residents, because there's no question that group feels and experiences a lot of change and disruption and loss of view, and we need to talk that through. There will be some financial consideration options. There may be move consideration options. So we will work through that with each west-facing Central Tower resident. And the notion of any remuneration is a complete, anathema to any other organization. They wouldn't even go down that path. They would just say, somebody took your view, too bad, it happened to be us, that's the way it goes. We're going to try to be as responsible as we can. And hopefully that will be sufficient. And for those who really feel like they need to be in a different place, we're going to try to find a place where that will work. That's how we do it. It's not easy. It's not fun. It is disruptive, and we're going to try to do our best. And again, as I said, we'll continue to do the Methuen meetings. And, when you're sitting in this space and you realize what Methuen has been able to design, I think you can project out into the future and say, they'll probably do a really good design on those finishes for a new structure and all the connectivity. So I think that this could not have been possible had we been with our previous architects, because they did not have the vision in the sense that I think Methuen has, and hopefully you will be experiencing that all along the way. Okay, so I'm going to pass this off to Celerina, who's going to do some new staff introductions, and then I'll circle back around at the end with a few other things.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see all your faces. Of course, you guys know I get to come up here and introduce all the new hires. All right. They told me how to work this. I think I know. Let's see. Come on.
I learned from the last go round. I think you can, yeah. I think you should be able to. Okay, so this page you want to be on?
Thank you. Always can use the assist. All right. So I'm sure you all, if you've been dining in the terrace dining room, you probably see Justin around. He is one of the newer servers for food services. And so if you see him, give him a wave and tell him welcome to Horizon House. Andre, can I have you wave really quickly? Everyone say hello to Andre. This is Andre Dixon, and Andre Dixon is the manager of the IT department. And so you see him around. If you need help with anything, connection issues, or you just see him in the hallway, tell him hello and tell him welcome. Andre's been here about a couple of weeks now. And so hopefully you all have been seeing his face around the building. Okay, so next is Logan Hark. I'm going to take my accountability and say I didn't get a chance to get Logan's picture. However, I will make sure it is up on that board for next week. If you all have been seeing a gentleman walking around the building with like lime green hair, yeah. So that's Logan, okay? And you tell him welcome. I think he's really enjoying, getting to know Horizon House. I've seen him a couple of times, and so he said he almost got lost. And so hopefully, I told him, I was like, that's what happens when you're new here. It took me a minute to get acclimated. And so when you see him, you just tell him hello and welcome. And next I have Kate Liver. Kate is a housekeeper. Kate started last week, and so she hasn't even been a full 2 weeks. And she's here in the morning times. If you see Kate, tell her hello. She's actually training with Alicia right now. Alicia's been showing her the ropes, getting her acclimated with all things Horizon House. And then we have Taylor Hand, who is an elder care LPN. Unfortunately, not a lot of you will probably see Taylor unless you're on the second or third floors of assisted living. But when she is around, if you see her, tell her hello, and you'll also be able to see her picture on that picture board on B3 next week as well. And then I have Miss Lindsay Mullins for food services. Lindsay comes in the afternoon and evening times as she is a student. And so she does come in the afternoon and evening times on the weekdays and some weekends. And so hopefully when you're coming for lunch or for dinner with your friends and your loved ones, maybe you'll have Lindsay be your server. She's a joy, and I hope you get to know her. All right. So I have the honor and privilege. She's not here, I can tell because I seen her earlier, but I have the honor and privilege of telling you all about Jasmine Royal. So Jasmine Royal, she started with Horizon House December 13th, 2022, and we hired her as a garage attendant and parking valet. And now, as of just a couple of days ago, last week sometime, she has now stepped into the role of the sales coordinator for the sales department. And so I'm sure you all are like, I have questions, I want to know things. And so she'll be the person to connect you to the appropriate person if she doesn't have the answer herself. And so if you see Jasmine around, you tell her welcome. She's not new to Horizon House, but she is new to the role and new to the department. And so if we just give her a great welcome and tell her, she's still learning the ropes, she's still in training, so give her time, but I promise you, she'll answer all those questions that you have. Thank you so much for allowing me to announce our new hires. And now I'll go ahead and bring up Miss Valerie to welcome our new residents. Oh. Let's see. Nope, I apologize, Valerie. Okay, so we have a Q&A and an apartment tour from Miss Amanda. Come on. I got to onboard her as well. Yeah, come on. We might have to tell Mike to come back. Welcome. This button here.
Oh, perfect.
There we go. And then just click that.
There we go.
If it ever gets stuck.
Perfect. Tutorials. Good morning. So you weren't up until 1 a.m. watching baseball though, right? Pitch clock? Good thing? I don't know. I thought it was kind of nice. Good morning. I'm Amanda, here to continue my mission to promote and demystify assisted living at Horizon House. Just mostly wanted to remind everyone that most Wednesdays between 11 and 12, I hang out in the Fireside Lounge just to answer questions. I often have a member of the assisted living leadership team. So I've sat with Brittany, our administrator. I've sat with Rena, who manages all the social work and assisted living, Ildiko with lifestyles, and just a casual format. If you see me sitting there, I'd love to just chit chat. Some of the questions, right? Are there bathrooms in assisted living apartments? There are. Can you leave assisted living to go to the terrace dining room? You can. So yeah, just come ask me all those silly questions that you have about assisted living, okay? I think it's always on the calendar, the Wednesdays that I'll be there. A couple Wednesdays I have meeting conflicts, so if I'm not there, I'm in a meeting. But if you see me, don't hesitate to stop by. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is we are busy renovating apartments in assisted living. So I don't know how familiar you are with the apartments there. But we're working to elevate the standards of all assisted living apartments so that they're really similar to what our residents in independent living have. We have the plank floors now, the wider floorboards, painting everything kind of that soft grayish color, just to really brighten things up and modernize it. We were doing some data points yesterday, and we've renovated 8 rooms in the past 3 months, and we've got a few more on the docket. So although we're not doing formal open houses and group tours of assisted living, I'd also encourage you, if you're just curious to see what the rooms look like, feel free to reach out and I'll easily, walk you up, give you a quick nickel tour of assisted living. In the meantime, we did finish a beautiful studio apartment up there, and I wanted to show you a quick video to just show some of the highlights of what they look like. Let's see. Representing, okay, so yeah, you see the floorboards. Again, real similar to what you see when you look around, even in here in Anderson Hall. The closets, like a nice, easy gray color. This is a beautiful studio, by the way. It's available. If anybody's looking for something, you'll have a great view of construction on the west wing. Yeah, they're pretty. And I think people kind of balk sometimes at studios, but you can really do fun things with studio apartments. What's the question? No. Let's see. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what this one is. They're a little more expensive than what you pay per month in independent living, but you're also getting 3 meals, housekeeping, laundry, and the oversight. I'm going to say maybe $7,000 a month for this apartment. And then you add care on top of that. But again, you can come talk to me and I won't rope you in and make you move up there. I can just answer any question. Do you have any questions for me about assisted living? You can hold them until next Wednesday. All right, guys. Oops. Oh, no, we don't want to watch it again, do we? That's a no. All right. My partner in crime, Erica.
Oh, good people. Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Fran. Aloha, everybody. Happy Friday. It's good to see you all. And our Care Connector updates are, how do we move this forward? There we go. Some of you may have noticed that our memory cafe has moved from Wednesdays to Thursdays, and we've moved our Thursday, our location from the B1 gym studio into the Parkview Lounge. So we're in the area right in front of the pool table. We will not disturb any of the puzzles. I promise, Ann Pound. Ann, if you're listening, I promise we will not disturb a puzzle. But we will be down there, and we encourage everybody who comes by to come and join us too. It is open to everybody to come and join the Memory Cafe. It's for everybody. If you have a bad memory, or if you think you have a bad memory, or if you think you know somebody who has a bad memory, come and join us, okay? It helps everybody. It's a lot of fun. And our Saturday group remains the same from 2 to 4 in the gym studio on the B1 level. The second point is we are going to get ready for our second art therapy experience, a closed group for 8 participants who would like to come and join our art therapist intern, Mariko. So if you're interested, that will be for a 2-month period starting in May for Friday afternoons through May and June, Friday afternoons And so we're looking for 8 participants who are interested in joining that for a closed group experience. So if you're interested, please contact Mariko, or you can contact me for more questions. Okay. Next point is laughter yoga. We're going to do a closed group laughter yoga experience too, as part of the meditation, ongoing meditation exploration around Horizon House. That's going to be starting tomorrow on April Fool's Day. So if you'd like to join us, it's going to be again in the gym studio on the B1 level, 11:30 to 12. That's going to be every Saturday for the next 2 months. And that's so you can come down, drop in, try it out, see how it fits as another type of meditative practice. Good for the soul, good for the body, good for the humors. Okay. And finally, it's been a long time since we've had an ongoing support group for Parkinson's here in the house. We haven't had that since the pandemic started, I believe. But we are very excited to get that off the ground again. So I would encourage you, if you have an interest in Parkinson's, if you have Parkinson's, or if you have a partner with Parkinson's, please reach out to me so I can gauge the interest of that, and we can start formulating a time and place to get that started again. Very interested in that. Okay, so that is my report for this time around. Are there any questions for me? Hallelujah. Oh no. Yes. Laughter yoga. We're all going to be on the floor laughing. You're right. No, we're going to be on B1 in the gym. And we're going to be in chairs, walking around, doing what we need to do. So it's sit or stand, depending on your comfort level. We can do both. So yes, absolutely. Okay. Saturday, tomorrow, 11:30. It's a half an hour right before lunch. You don't want to do it on a full stomach, or we'll be cleaning up afterwards. All right, and with that, I will bring it over to my good friend Jeff, who will bring up the dining report. Bring it up for Jeff. Yay.
All right, well, happy Friday, everyone. Hope we're having a good week so far. Some updates from food services. So what is new? Oh yeah, I guess I'm doing this, huh? All right. So the return of brunch table service. As a lot of you know, last weekend we went back to kind of our pre-pandemic brunch service with the actual menu and sit-down plated service. Kind of thought that was a good time to do that as we were coming out of the lockdown that we had been in, and we were kind of forced to move away from those buffets for a few weeks and go back to plated service. Things went really well. I know there's always this whole time been a little bit of confusion about what nights you need a reservation, what nights you don't, that whole thing. And so I just thought this was a great time to kind of make everything more on the same level and simpler for everybody. So Saturday and Sundays, 10:30 to 1, we're doing our brunch. So come check it out. Definitely make a reservation if you can. Do note, only the brunch menu is available during brunch. So a lot of new items on there, so we don't have the means in the kitchen to have everything that's on the regular menu. But that regular menu is available every other meal period. So 7 nights a week, and then Monday through Friday for lunch. And kind of transitioning into Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. So the buffets, we're moving away from that on those nights as well. So Saturday and Sunday nights, you can come in and have a nice plated dinner with a reservation, as well as Friday night, but we'll throw in the prime rib and leave it out on that buffet line so you can go through and have it carved right in front of you and have it that way. And you can definitely take it home. So Friday night's kind of a little hybrid where you can have your regular sit down dinner or go through the buffet line. So hope that works out. Another good thing that happened up this week is we have the Bistro Action Station back. So that was something we haven't seen since the pandemic started. It's going to be open Monday through Thursday to start from 12 to 1:30. We'll have a weekly action item. So this week is the grain bowl. Next week, we're going to do some fried rice in there that's made to order, as well as the sandwiches. So nice to kind of get out of those packaged sandwiches and get back to a nice fresh one made right there for you. Yeah. Another thing with the regular menu in the dining room, we've added a bread board to the appetizers. So comes with 4 assorted macrina rolls, which are real tasty, with olive tapenade and some whipped butter. So definitely give that a check out there. And then one other menu item we're changing, nothing's changing about it, but we're just changing the name of the Buddha Bowl to the Power Bowl. I think that was a little more appropriate for everything. And, we just thought that was the right move to make there. So nothing else has changed about it. Still same old great ingredients and everything, just a new name. So check that out. Easter is coming up, Sunday, April 9th. So we are doing our Easter brunch buffet like we do with most of our holidays. So it'll be from 10:30 to 2, and we won't be doing dinner service that night. So please note that. We have open reservations as of Wednesday. So if you would like to reserve a table for Easter brunch, shoot me an email or come visit me during lunch or dinner, and we'll take care of that for you. If you're curious what's on the Easter menu, it is on HH Connect. It's in the packet from last week, and I'll give it its own spot as soon as I leave here today. One other thing I wanted to just kind of add to that. We'll get to that. Just to kind of go back to what we've discussed kind of throughout most of 2022 is, price increases. So Chef and I are in the process of evaluating all the costs on the menu, and as we spoke about rising food costs and everything, we will be seeing some adjustments in the next coming weeks. Not everything's going to go up, just a couple things that we've highlighted. So just wanted to kind of give that a little precursor there for what's coming in the next few weeks. And then I'll get to the pictures. So as y'all know, had a baby boy born on January 28th. So I was gone for a few weeks there. So thought I'd share a few pictures, see him in his cute little sweater there, and with his 4-year-old sister. She's trying to teach him how to work an iPad, and then me and him in our Bronco outfits, because everybody knows I'm a big Bronco fan. Very contentious right now. Every time my wife tries to get a Seahawk blanket out or a shirt, I'm trying to throw it away, but she won't let me, but we'll see how that goes. And then the last picture, I know everybody knows Oliver is back home in the Philippines right now. The reason he chose this time was for his son's birthday. And so he sent me some pictures from his birthday party, and I thought that one was just a great one. You see the displays that Oliver does for us all the time for holidays and everything. And then you can just see he created a very immaculate one there for his son on the king's throne and everything there. And it looked like they had a great party for his birthday. I've spoken with him a few times. He's having a great time. So definitely miss him, but I'm so glad that he's getting the opportunity to be home with his kid and his homeland and everything. And we definitely look forward to having him back, though. And that is it for food services. So with that, I'd like to introduce Brian Holtz, Director of Operations.
I notice how Jeff talked about menu prices going up, perhaps, but then softened it with the awesome pictures of the family. That is brilliant. I need to keep that in mind. That is the way to do it. Well, I have Barbara is going to give some updates from her area. Then after that, Sean will. So I'll turn it over to Barbara.
Thank you. Well, you can hear me. So we did do our yearly inspections last year. We didn't get as far as we wanted to get. So we've decided this year that we are going to start early. So we're going to start in the middle of April, and we're going to start with the Central and East Towers. Little different. We're going to have a checklist that we will post before we do our inspections, so you will know what we're going to be inspecting. Okay. And the other thing we're changing is our schedule will be by floor, and you'll know what day we are coming to your apartment. If you still are not going to be there at that time, or you don't want to wait around all day because you have doctor's appointments or you want to eat dinner or something, you can still make an appointment with us. So if you want to make an appointment, that's fine. We're going to be posting the questions that going to be asking, we're going to be looking for, what we're looking for these safety inspections. By the end of the day today, we're going to get that to communications. And we're also going to get to our first few apartments, at least our first, all of Central Tower. By the end of the day, we'll get that to communications. It'll take them a little while to get that all posted. Thank you. Second thing is we have a April spring cleaning. It's two parts. One of them is we're going to do complimentary laundry with housekeeping, as long as you have a minimum of 1 hour housekeeping. If you already have housekeeping, we will give you the free laundry for that housekeeping for the month of April. So don't think you're not getting that because you already use our services. But if you're a new customer, we also have that if you schedule 2 hours of housekeeping, we will, you'll get 50% off. And the other thing is carpet cleaning. Carpet cleaning in your apartments, we have that available most Monday through Friday and sometimes other times during the day. And it's going to be 55% off. 15% off for carpet cleaning. The second part of the spring cleaning is we're also going to be doing spring cleaning for the general areas of Horizon House. We're going to do some blitz cleaning for the month of April. So if you see some groups and they have their spring cleaning sticker on them, that means they're doing their blitz cleaning. And if you want to contact me and say, I've got an area I think needs some blitz cleaning, definitely I'll take that and put that on the list. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. And just to go back to those, the annual inspections, if folks are new and don't recall, that's something that we do. We go into every apartment and we're looking for anything environmental that may be something that you're telling us about a work order that may need to be followed up on. If we observe something that may be a safety issue for us and some education on the pull stations that are in the corridors and things like that. So that is something that we've instituted a few years ago. And Barbara just wanted to mention that we're getting started on that a little earlier this year. So, and some good communications posted for that. Next, Sean's going to talk to us about an update on our elevators. Thank you, Sean.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm Sean, elevator specialist. Chief engineer. Yeah, so luckily have some updates to share regarding our elevators. We received a report recently from our elevator service company that outlines all of their preventative maintenance that they'd like to see us complete in the near future. It's an extensive, detailed list of involving many of our elevators. It's allowing us to strategically plan how we approach these repairs and maintenance so that we can be ahead of what we've been experiencing lately and the outages, trying to minimize them, obviously, going forward. The game plan so we can avoid basically what we have been experiencing with number two for to avoid the issue we've been experiencing with number two, for example. It's been down for an extended period of time, which is something we want to obviously avoid. That is a rather unique situation that I won't go into detail here about, but I'd be happy to share with others after this meeting. But it's certainly a complicated situation that we had with that elevator, which has caused it to be out of service for an extended period of time. The future repairs will obviously avoid this by simply having parts on site before we take the elevator out of service. That simply was not an option with number two, which is why we have this issue. But I'm confident that we can avoid that going forward. And we'll be providing advance notification prior to taking any elevator out of service so people can plan accordingly. Speaking of number two, as I mentioned in my previous communication, It's currently anticipated to begin repairs towards the end of April. Yeah, part of the repairs involve the elevator ropes being replaced, and lead time on ropes is several months, basically, and that's what the main cause to these delays have been caused by the ropes. What I would add is we can expect the same type of work to happen to elevator 1 this year, and then that would be next in line. And of course, again, it's going to be a much shorter outage, but that's something that I want to put on everyone's radar. In terms of elevator 11, I was hoping it would be back up and running yesterday, but I am being led to believe that it will be in fact up and running today. They had to address several issues that are new issues that required them, again, a little bit of a surprise, I guess, that our previous elevator service company left. Little surprise. That's why we're running into these issues with number 11 right now. And the surprise was enough to where they felt it was necessary to run it through what they call a category 1 test, which we generally only do once a year. They felt it was necessary to do that again, just to prove its worthiness, basically. And that took a little bit of time to complete. And that's what should be done today. Assuming all goes to plan, number 11 will be back in service today. I think that's about all I have to share. Yeah. Okay, I can share that, sure. Yeah, so she was asking where the location of these elevators are. So number 2 would be Central Tower. It serves floors B through 18. That's the one that's located next to the A apartments. And then number 11 is the North Tower, serving floors B3 through 19. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes. I heard that this morning. I don't really have anything to share that wasn't from us, but very humorous. Yeah, Brian has something to share about that. Again, I just want to say thank you very much for everyone's patience surrounding our elevator disruptions. It's something that I take very seriously, that the facilities team takes very seriously, and a lot is happening behind the scenes that goes unnoticed. When we had some issues with elevator 10 recently, which is right next to elevator 11, you know, it was only out for maybe a couple of minutes, but during that time, my team was scrambling to put it back into service and running up the stairwell to get to it, identify a simple issue that we were able to manage. But we take it very seriously, and I just want to say thank you for being so patient with all of these disruptions. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean. And, you know, Sean had jet black hair before we had problems with the elevators, and I had a full head of hair. And again, you know, we joke about it here. Thank you. However, it is very discouraging when we have these go down for you and for our staff. It has been a considerable time drain on us and energy drain. However, we are fine with talking with our elevator companies. We had conversations with them on a weekly, if not daily basis. There was a comment about some notices that were posted. Unfortunately, there's been more than 3 or 4 times where we don't know if it's residents or staff putting up notices on the elevators themselves, saying, like, instead of our notice that says the elevator is temporarily down, it says these elevators are always down. Or another one that says, gosh, this elevator is working only for 5 minutes at a time, hurry up and use it. And we chuckle, but you know what? It's very discouraging for we staff to see that we're working really hard to try and get the elevators to function. And we get an email this morning that, gosh, did you guys put this up to be funny? And some residents were upset and communicated to us that they did not think it was humorous. And so please be mindful that has an impact. on us and the residents when that happens. And so we may have the talent show later this year where we could have some stand-up comedy instead of putting up notices if that's something we want to do. So thank you for your understanding on the elevators. We will have a game plan for making these repairs on some of the other ones. Later today, I am having at 2:00 here in the Anderson Hall, a reminder on disaster and emergency preparedness. It was in the weekly alert as a reminder. This is something that actually I haven't had an opportunity to do since pre-pandemic, but it's important for us to get prepared and think about what if something catastrophic happens in the community or in the buildings. So it's a good opportunity to come and learn about this. It is going to be this afternoon right here in the Anderson Hall. So hopefully I can see you later today and learn more about that. Moving on, question. So the question is, will there be a replay of the disaster and emergency preparedness? We will record it and show it later. Yes, we will. With that, we're super excited to have some UW grad students here, and Lori is going to talk about that. And go Huskies.
Good morning. Good to see all of you. I just want to first, before I bring up the students, just share that I am ecstatic to let you know that we have 0 residents with COVID right now. Yes. We have 1 remaining staff member in their final stages of recovery. So we are going to embrace and look forward to 0 cases for a while. I do want to highlight, I'm sure many of you have heard in the news media that the mask mandate is ending for the state April 3rd. What always makes it very challenging for those of us who are in provider roles is the media releases that information before the state updates us as providers on what guidance we must continue to follow. So we are going to keep the current practices that are in place at this moment, which means an assisted living masks are continue to be required for staff, for visitors, for volunteers, and all staff will remain in mask at this time. And for all of you as independent living residents, you have the choice or the option. It is strongly encouraged, but you do have the option of masks. The State Department of Health is going to be putting out some webinars in April for us as providers for what these new guidance changes will mean for long-term care facilities and how that would apply to assisted living. So for now, we're going to continue the course and we will update the community as we learn more from the state over the next month on what that means for us regarding masking, testing, communal dining, etc. So without further ado, I'm excited to bring up from my alma mater. Any other Huskies in the audience? Woo, yes, yes. So we have been working with Master Occupational Therapy students last year, and we have another cohort this year as part of our Beam Center efforts. And so the students have been working with some of our wellness committee members, Andrew from Wellness, myself as a preceptor, and I'm excited for them to share an upcoming project that you'll all get to be a part of. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we are the University of Washington graduate students studying occupational therapy. My name is Amy.
My name is Alyssa.
My name is Kayla. And Julia was the last one if you didn't catch. So we are really happy to be here today to share with you the work we've been doing on creating a fall prevention survey for residents at Horizon House. Over the last 6 months, we've been working in partnership with Horizon House on ways to improve your fall prevention efforts and your program here to support your safe living and extend the length of your independence as you're living here. So there's been 2 projects, as Lori mentioned. Last year's project was a different group of students. So we're going to start with kind of catching everybody up on what happened last year and then walking you through what we're doing this year. So I'm not sure how to advance the slides, but if somebody can do the next slide, little clicker. Okay.
All right.
Ah, There we are. Okay, that one, guys. Okay, so last year's project was mainly focused on identifying the risk factors for falls. And here are some of the ones in the slide that you can see that impact fall risk and should be included in fall prevention programming. These include things like Beam Center already has of balance, strength training, and endurance, and some other areas that we're looking to help expand, such as vision, medications, nutrition, home hazards, use of mobility devices, footwear, emotional factors, as well as cognitive factors. So building on last year's work, we are helping to identify what to add to the programming that's already in place and address these factors. Our aim is to use current evidence-based, thank you. Our aim this year is to use current evidence-based practices that we've done research on and are providing to just improve the fall prevention efforts that are already in place here.
So currently, just a brief overview, I'm sure most of you know this already, but a large part of Horizon House's fall prevention efforts are around the Beam Center, which many of you, if not all of you, know about, which offers really great fitness classes focused on strength, balance, endurance. I know they have some really cool new equipment, like a fancy machine that can track individual balance and then keep track of whether it's improving or declining over time for each one of you specifically. So they're doing some really, really amazing things there. So those are really great offerings here to build on physical strength and aspects that are related to your physical body that might affect fall risk. But from all of the research that our previous cohort or the previous cohort before us did on some of these other factors. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, some of these other factors that can affect fall risk outside of just physical strength and balance. We know that, the physical side of things is only one part of the equation. And there are many, many other things that are a little harder to identify or maybe not super intuitive that can really come into play with fall risk. So our group's main goal is to find out how can we go learn more about those other fall risk factors that are a little bit more nuanced. And how can we identify things that might be affecting residents in the community outside of physical aspects in order to help Horizon House incorporate some of those other elements into their fall prevention efforts and really round out their programming around fall prevention. And again, of course, the main goal here for us, for the Wellness Committee, for Lori and Andrew, is all just to help all of you optimize your independence, retain your autonomy, and really keep improving your daily functioning.
Okay, so many of the other factors that we don't know are things like footwear and medications, sleep patterns, nutrition intake, and others. And so in order to gather this information, we decided to create an anonymous survey. And results of the survey will give Horizon House the information that's needed to accurately assess fall risk, and Horizon House will use that information to provide residents with the appropriate supports. So for example, if the survey showed that a large percentage of people had challenges or concerns in certain areas, Horizon House could use that information to create more educational offerings or connect residents with community resources that addresses those fall risk factors. And this could also help Horizon House identify community resources or places in the common areas in out here or in the apartments that pose fall risks. So for example, if there's areas that have low lighting or areas that don't have grab bars but need grab bars, this could be an opportunity for Horizon House to recognize that and make changes. So ultimately, the survey will be an important tool in expanding the current fall prevention program here into a more comprehensive one that will in turn help you all again remain independent, which is the main goal of this whole thing.
All right, so on the logistics side of things, this survey is going to include questions addressing all the factors that we've listed that contribute to fall risk. There will also be some valuable information on what residents can do to decrease their fall risk. The survey will be about 20 questions long and offered online via email or paper format for those that prefer paper. The release date for that will be April 10th. More information on that will be in the alert, and it'll be open for 1 week. So we have heavily researched the delivery method, question wording, length, font, you name it, on this survey to validate its effectiveness for gathering useful information regarding fall risk. We built it off of the CDC survey, the VA survey, and other evidence-based sources. Using this survey, we're going to hope to learn valuable information to help reduce fall risk at Horizon House. This will allow us to track information over time and possibly have a baseline to improve resident health. And like Alyssa said earlier, our ultimate goal is for you all to maintain independence. Thank you very much for your time and letting us present. Are there any questions?
I was also just going to add, just to point out in case folks weren't able to see on the slide, just that it's anonymized too. So it's not going to be individual response. It's going to be totally anonymous, hopefully making the feedback be able to be, really, really valuable to us and get a good picture of what's going on in the community.
Just want to add, because the survey is anonymous, we really encourage all of you to answer the questions honestly. I know it's hard to self-report, especially if you've had a near miss or you have had a fall and haven't needed assistance getting up, so therefore it has not been reported. This is valuable information for us so that we can tailor the Beam Center around continued and expanded support and resources to help decrease the risk of falls. You may recall, we'll bring this back as we get information from the survey, which we will share with all of you. And again, more of a generality in terms of how many respondents answered yes or no to the questions. Andrew and I had presented last year some fall data on what we know about here, and it was pretty staggering. I remember some of you mentioned afterwards, wow, we do have a fair number of falls here. And so this is all targeted to help enhance and support all of you. Terrific job by the students, wouldn't you agree? Thank you so much. There is one question.
Yeah, so there will be one question about that, and it'll be within the last year.
Thanks so much, everyone. And next up is going to be Joan, I believe. Thank you.
I have a complex about being short, maybe. Mask off. Ooh. The microphones are working really well today. Okay, so. Are we going backwards? Sorry, I've never used this gizmo before. Go back. HH Connect preview. So last Tuesday, Emily Wallace and I had a preview in this room for the new HH Connect. And we were thrilled that about 80 people came to the preview. Who was there? Okay, so it's not total. Okay, so those that came to the live preview, you're going to get a quiz after this, okay? So for everyone else, I would like to say a few words about the development of the new HH Connect. So today is, today's preview will be somewhat pretend because the site is actively being worked on, and we didn't want to kick the developers off once again to do a live demo. So it's going to be pictures of the site. So please bear with me. They're going to look smaller than the real site will look, but I can answer questions after the fireside chat is over if you have any questions. So back in the fall, I presented in October about doing a new HH Connect. And I told a story about a front porch that was just crammed with items. Too much stuff on this front porch. And my story talked about the fact that the house that went along with this porch didn't have enough closet space to put stuff in. So that was kind of the metaphor for why we needed a new HH Connect. So if we go forward, okay, this is all what the next 4 slides are all our current site. So you've got a lot of wasted space here. You've got New Yorker columns, which is fine for the New Yorker if you want to be text heavy, but it's not exactly user friendly and it's not exactly easy to find things. And then it goes on again. There's more stuff listed. We've got lists of PDFs. So we keep going. Way down here is our leadership corner. Then, because there's no closet space on our current HH, down at the bottom of the page where nobody ever goes because it's way down and you have to scroll for eternity to get there. So not user-friendly, items in a jumble, tons of text, and not much, using our real estate language, not much curb appeal. Okay, your user experience isn't that great. And for us who have to work administratively with it, total lack of flexibility in terms of being able to add information in an organized fashion. So when we looked at redesigning HH Connect, we wanted to make it the primary source of information for residents, provide an improved user experience, have information that is well organized, relevant, and easily accessible. So I wasn't able to see what this would look like on the big screen, but here's the new HH Connect. That is the entire homepage. Okay, so I didn't have to like scroll and scroll and scroll to show you the new design. So this is it. Now, I think it has great curb appeal, and I hope you agree. It's clear, it's colorful, it's organized, so we hope it provides a better user experience. So let me, and again, this is really, it's kind of hard to see. So I'll get my pointer out. So here we have our main navigation. So that has expanded from the old HH Connect to be able to better organize and add information. Okay. News and announcements are in a nice spot rather than randomly plopped on the middle of the page. So you will be able to look at individual announcements, and then you can view all of the announcements for a certain time period. So this is going to be much easier to work with. And again, this is a picture of the page, so I can't demonstrate the functionality. The alert is here. You'll be able to read the alerts like you can now. It's very front and center. And we're also going to introduce an alternative way to make submissions to the alert on a form right here. The resident directory is being completely redone, and we hope it will serve you better. Going to this second row, it says watch HH videos. All right, I don't know how many times I have gotten calls or emails. I can't find the video of the blah-de-blah meeting or the blah-de-blah program. You don't have to worry about that anymore because you go right here and this will take you right to our YouTube channel where you can look up your program, okay? Work order inquiries. Everything you wanted to know about work orders, but were afraid to ask. It's all gonna be right here because work orders are a big deal here. Here is just a bit of fun. We will periodically rotate various photos of things going on in Horizon House, just for fun, gives a little interest. Then I'm going to go down to this row. These are quick links. just what it means. It's a way to get to important or popular areas of the website with just a click. Then we go to this area, in memoriam. So on our current HH Connect, the in memoriams are plopped down at the bottom of the site, okay, not very accessible. And really, we felt didn't honor or memorialize those residents that have passed away. So this will be a very nice page that has photos and a very nicely arranged a list of those that have left us. Assisted living. There is going to be a wealth of assisted living accessible right from here. So you click it and there'll be all sorts of information about assessments, costs, considerations, FAQs, lots of good stuff. Here will be medical resources, what to do in an emergency, all sorts of medical information that is very helpful for you. Then last, we'll see how this works. This is called the Resident Bulletin Board. So you will have the ability to send a post. You'll submit a post. If you have a question for a community, this isn't your own private email, okay? You can't email your best friend and say, hey, let's go for a walk. But you can post a message to the community. I have an extra opera ticket. Do you want to come with me? I need a cat sitter for 2 weeks. Who would like to go? Is there anybody in the community that would like to form a walking group? I mean, it's for general community outreach. And so we hope that it will be popular. We'll just have to wait and see. Kind of went out on a limb on that. So let's pretend again. Let's pretend. So for each of these menus, when you click a menu, a sub-menus drop down of content areas under this category. So let's pretend I click Residence Council. I go to, and I want to see the leadership. Boom. Okay, you'll see a nice page. This didn't exist. Okay, so now you can see who they are, how to contact them, and it's just all very simple and clear. Another thing that, okay, let's go back. We're going to go back up to the resident council menu, and we're going to choose resident council committees. So each resident council committee will have its own page. So see all of the pink text? Those are all of the different committees / activities. And when you click one of those, up will pop their page that has their description from the programs book, and then any other information that the committee chair would like to add to give a more full-bodied view of what goes on with that particular committee or activity. So that's just kind of a quick peek. The idea is to have a website, an HH Connect that's a little bit more like this than that front porch with all the information or all the stuff crammed together. And last, our launch goal is April. We will be doing a series of orientation classes to walk you through why we put things where we did, how to find things. You know, stay tuned for those will be in the alert. And then lastly, I'd like to offer a few words of thanks to the Resident Council Communications Committee for its input and suggestions. And specifically, even before I was here, and then last year, there were subcommittees that offered their insights, and that included Gloria Thiele, Ned Lang, Mary Mullen, Deanna Nelson, and Beth Davis. And then when we get closer to launch, we will have resident user testing to find, you know, are there broken links? Are there typos? That kind of thing. Bill Corriston, Deanna Nelson, Bonnie Miller, Scott Lunke, Madge Hislop, Jim Hitter, and Mary Mullen. With that, I will bid you a fond adieu, and I am going to, proudly introduce Karen Lane and Patty Flowers, our partner in caring co-chairs.
Well, thank you very much for having us here today. It's always a pleasure to talk about Partners in Caring. It's one of my favorite things, as you've no doubt tired of hearing. While the kickoff for Partners in Caring took place on March. Oh, did the clicker go away? No stealing my clicker. No, thank you.
Oh, I'll borrow it. Okay, give it back, Patty. Okay.
Let's see, I want to go forward. Oh, I have to point it at.
That one.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, so the kickoff was March 22nd. The campaign will run for the whole calendar year. And a late-breaking update, we have now raised $180,000 toward our goal of $460,000. Your gift, if you'll remember, funds residence assistance, staff scholarships, and enrichment grants. Patty?
As Karen said, our kickoff was March the 22nd. And if you missed that, you can actually go to the current HH Connects. I'm glad the new one's not up yet, because this was this slide for the old one, but I never knew it was videoed, but I never knew how to get there. And I use HH Connects a lot, but it turns out that if you go to HH Connects, if you look up at the top, there's home, this week, resident council. Now resident directory, that's the one I use the most. I don't think I've ever used this week, but it turns out if you click on this week, this screen comes up, and way down at the bottom on the right hand, you can get any of the videos that are here on Horizon House. I never knew that before. I always had to call Risa and say, how do I get whatever? Now, if you do that, we urge you to go to that, because what you could see is the whole presentation, and it was beautifully done. Charlene had great pictures. And now I'm seeing me. Okay. I don't want to see me. Well, let me just tell you, and this will go with the next slide when we get it up. If you do go to that video, you will see one of our staff scholarship recipients, and her picture will be up just a little bit. Her name is Laura Celine, and she's just a lovely, lovely person and did a great presentation. She is receiving staff scholarship funds to attend the University of Washington and is pursuing a physician assistant degree. And she did a great talk. And she is the daughter of Oji Celine, who works as a valet. And Laura also is a housekeeper here on the weekends. And we don't have her picture yet, huh? She's a lot easier to look at than I am. Did we just go on? Okay, we will go on.
Well, I'll just close this off by reminding you that whether your gift is large or small, it matters. It matters to Laura Celine. It matters to a neighbor who receives funds to help them in the last years of their life. It matters to residents like those in assisted living whose life is enhanced by a enrichment grant paid for out of Partners in Caring. Please reach out to Charlene or Ruth Ann in the philanthropy department if you have any questions. And thank you very much for hearing us out.
Thank you, Karen and Patty. That was great. And one of the things I think about when we have these fireside chats every month, and there was a time when I thought, gosh, it seems like, awfully frequent. Here's what I appreciate. During the month, a lot of stuff can happen where we can lose a little bit of maybe enthusiasm, or we have our criticisms of what's not working, what's not right. And I'm reminded every time when we get here each month how much is being done on behalf and for residents. And that notwithstanding the challenges that might go on inter-month, there are a lot of things going on, and it is positive, it's constructive, and there are tons of people at work. I look at the UW students that are participating in helping to understand balance. If, we can't cure cancer, okay? So that's not our job. We don't know how to do that. But what we can do is help you live independently longer, which is what we all care about at Horizon House. And to have the UW students in here to help facilitate that so we can design programs that will allow us to be able to help you be more mobile for longer, that's a good thing. I know, going back to the elevator stuff, it's frustrating for all of us. We don't want to be making too many jokes about it because we're kind of like had enough of it. But at the same time, I want everyone to appreciate that our team's doing as much as they can. We have changed out our vendors. We are, there aren't many vendors left. We have to rely on these people to ultimately fix our elevators. It isn't about money. It isn't about calling them on the carpet. It is just pounding on people and then getting them to do their job, which they are trying to figure out what these problems are and get past them. So I hope that you see those things happening, notwithstanding the frustrations that you might experience along the way. There are a lot of people here who are doing a lot of work to make Horizon House a good place. And hopefully that's something that you feel and experience. I would show pictures, but doesn't look like we're there yet. But I did want to mention that we did have in assisted living the International Women's Day, and the drum circle was participating, or a lot of people were participating in that and enjoying that. Assisted living is not just a place where you go and park and check out. It's a place where we have a team of people who are finding ways to work with each individual and collectively to make the experience as good as it can be for people of varying degrees of abilities. They're doing a terrific job there. They take it seriously, and hopefully it's something that you are able to visit at times. You have your friends and neighbors who are there, and hopefully they are communicating to you when they can that it's a good experience. And then the other picture, visualize the food truck out there. It could be coming back. The food truck for Diversity Week was a lot of fun. I think we want to do more of those kinds of things. It's nice to kind of break it up and offer a different kind of offering. I know that when I was out at the truck and the residents were coming out and enjoying it too, it's just a nice, something different that we can do and that we want to continue to do. Okay, there's Laura. All right. And that's a great addition to our partners in caring too, that yes, we now have enough resources for not only residents assistance, but for the opportunity to help the staff, the kids of our staff. That's terrific. Okay, open for questions. Nancy. When are the new chairs going to come for this room? I can say confidently, I do not know the answer to that. Eli would know, and Eli is not here at the moment, so I can't answer it, but I will get that back. I'll get back to you on that and others. Bill?
Microphone, Bill. Microphone.
I got to watch my language.
You're on.
What can you share with us about the question of whether the recent uptick in COVID that we had last month was unique to Horizon House or was shared by other CCRCs in Seattle? And if it was unique to Horizon House, what do your experts tell you about what caused it and what might be done to prevent it from happening again?
Sure. I'm going to pass that to Lori and let her answer that since she's closest to it.
Sure, great question. Not unique to Horizon House. Unfortunately, some other communities also were experiencing outbreak. I know that Skyline had an outbreak. And our contact tracing, as I showed at some previous meetings, what that revealed was with this particular strain that is plaguing the community is that it starts commonly with the cold. And the strain is different in that many individuals are not converting to positive COVID until 3, 5, 6, up to 7 days after starting symptoms of a cold. So what was happening, we found in the cluster of individuals who started colds was they were testing negative for COVID. Therefore, hallelujah, I'm clear of COVID and continued on with engagements, dining with others, cocktail parties, as the contact tracing revealed. And by then, we had the super spreader already well in place. And so once we started to see the evidence of that appearing, and in my conversations with King County Public Health, they mentioned that's a new phenomena with this particular strain, is that the COVID is not showing up until much later after symptom onset date, of which the damage, so to speak, has been done in terms of transmission. So in terms of the communication we've been preaching, and that is isolate, isolate, even if you have symptoms and are testing negative, we still want people to isolate because you are not going to know necessarily if you convert to COVID, potentially even up to a week after symptoms start. Not unique here.
Other
Very,
questions?
highly transmissible strain.
Sam?
Thank you, Mike. Speaking for myself, I thought the Methuen presentation earlier in the week was just outstanding and encouraging. One thing that wasn't mentioned at all was the status of the Monday market in this interim prior to actual demolition. Could you update us on that, please?
I can say that that Eli has been working with Monday Market team, and he has assured us that we will have space to be able to have as much of the Monday Market, maybe not its in entirety during that time, but we will definitely have the Monday Market operational and in some location, probably on B1 during the process, during the construction process. Ina.
This is really a question, comment for Lori. When I took my test at home from this white and orange little box, and I followed the instructions, I nearly had a heart attack because there was one little section that was not in the box. And allegedly, I was supposed to take the contents of that little, whatever it was, little container, and pour it into the actual container.
Yep.
But that was not there. And so literally, I mean, I even went to Lindemann, to the pharmacy, saying, look, these are the instructions, and this is what I find in the box. And then Lori explained that, no, they made a mistake. Could we, have this as an announcement? Because I would hate to have somebody else go through the agonies that I went through, thinking I'm not getting the right information, I'm not doing something right, whatever.
Well, Lori, you can.
I didn't catch the gist of what you said, Ina. I apologize.
The gist of it was that the contents of the COVID kit was not complete. And so when you're doing the test, you're missing a part and then you can't complete the test. And it's like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? Yeah. Yes. And of course, I think it's best personally if we try to stick to the same test so that we don't have to relearn a new one. But it's kind of depends on what's accessible, what's available.
And what gets sent when you order them online.
Lori, if you're answering a question, can you go over there so they can hear you on HHTV? I think that's what they're saying.
Just going to say, as much as we hope to get the same test kits, it depends on what we receive. That is put out by the free websites, which of course is ending in May. If you have any questions about testing, as we've been preaching, do not hesitate to reach out to Erica and myself for the nurse to come see you to help support testing if that is needed.
For the most part, we hope the tests are complete, but you can get the rogue test where somebody didn't put all the parts in. And, the first step is if you've got a second one there, then you open that box and use that. But we'll let people know that can possibly happen.
Not. Thank you. As Lori explained it to me, it was complete. Okay. And the liquid that was supposed to be in that second container was already in the little vial.
Okay.
So they did not change the instructions, and that was the problem.
All right. Gotcha.
The test was fine.
Okay.
It's just the instructions.
Okay. Other questions? Anyone else on any topic? How about those Mariners? Woohoo! Woohoo! It's off to a good start. Thank you all for being here, and we will see you again in a month. Thanks.